Well, we achieve an awful lot for a small business using the Zoho tools. So we find it a very comfortable lifestyle these days to be able to work from home. We wouldn't be able to do all of that efficiently at all unless we had something like Zoho.
My name is Cecil Rosencrantz, and I head up this company, Food Industry Foresight.
My name's Rod Fowler. I'm a director of Food Industry Foresight, and we provide market insights and data covering the food service sector in Australia and New Zealand predominantly.
And we cover 23 other markets around the world.
If you think about the retail sector, it's actually quite easy to source data because everything's scanned at the cash register, and that data is made available to people who need it. In the food service sector, it's quite different. It's a very fragmented market, lots and lots of suppliers and distributors in that space, and there's no one single source that can get enough data to give you a proper picture of the market.
I started working with Rod from Food Industry Foresight probably about 4 or 5 years ago. He was one of my early customers, and Food Industry Foresight produces research for all segments of the food industry.
So our job is to go out there and hunt down that data and structure and model it so that businesses can determine their opportunity in the marketplace. And we publish market size reports by product, by segment. We analyze distribution channels, brands, all types of aspects of anything you need to know as a business selling into that space. So we were using QuickBooks Online as our accounting system, and through their marketplace, I saw that they had a link to Zoho CRM. So I got information about the Zoho CRM part of things first, and we started using it fairly early on in our journey. We used the CRM as the core of the platform of everything we do with our clients. Well, I certainly did a search around other CRMs and options, and I found, the typical ones like HubSpot and Salesforce and all these things. I actually found them quite expensive and complex for a business our size. And then I suddenly discovered that Zoho wasn't just a CRM, it was a whole plethora of tools and processes we could use in our business. I think I could count about 14 or 15 different applications that we use regularly. And there's a whole range of others that we might use later on. We use social media and outbound mail campaigns to identify leads, and we bring that straight into the CRM, and then they become part of our workflow around communications and information. We use newsletters generated by Zoho, linking to articles on our website to inform and create curiosity amongst our clients.
I myself usually use Zoho first and foremost for client management and keeping in touch and keeping all the details in one spot.
So one of the things we were looking for when early on in the business was not only just basic CRMs to manage our client relationships, we need to be able to publish and provide data securely to our clients.
The last thing you want to do is provide a dashboard with all of this information with a public domain URL, which is a grey area because someone can pay for it, give it to their mate, and the mate says, well, hey, that's a public domain URL. You've put in the public domain, tough luck.
So obviously we need to protect our intellectual property, but also make it easy and accessible to clients. So we've actually used Zoho Creator and built a whole customer portal to provide the right report according to the subscription parameters. And that's all done very securely and instantly online for our customers. And all we need to do is set up the subscription details in the CRM, load the reports onto WorkDrive, and the Creator application manages the entire process. So it works really well for us. And we can run a report in Zoho Analytics. We use analytics in two ways mainly. First, to do our own analysis of the data we collect and analyze and segment and find the data stories to show who's logged in, the last time they logged in. So they're not logging in and using it. We wanted to know why and help them get value for it. So we probably at the moment have, I would say, about 25 different workspaces that we use to publish data to clients. And again, that's managed by our subscription process in the CRM. So everything sort of works together, and we find analytics is easy to use, and we find that the way you can publish it, you can make it public to anybody, or you can make it only accessible after you log in using into our environment. So we find that quite comforting that it works that way, and it allows us to be flexible in how we share our information to the marketplace. So when we're using analytics, we're often importing data from different sources. We have a data model for the food service industry that we've developed over many years, and that structures the procurement of all the different food and beverage segments by market size, volume, and value, and that goes back 20 years. So it's a very valuable tool and very important that we maintain that and clean it, keep it clean. So we load in, update that every year. That gives us history and trends and the ability to create data insights, data stories for our clients. So data prep is a great tool to help us clean that data on a regular basis. And you can automate the steps. And it's a great, it makes our job a lot easier. Well, we've created our own custom module using basic components available in the CRM. We define extra fields and modules and behaviors between them and link them to actually create our own application. Well, Zoho Flow fits very much under the covers. You don't actually see it very much, but we use it to trigger different interactions between different parts in the system. So we might have on the website an offer to download a free marketing guide, for example, and you might need to fill in some details. That will either create a new lead in our system automatically using Flow, or it will update an existing contact in our database. So Flow just sits there and connects all the dots, if you like, and you can determine what information you want to capture at each step. You can also increase scores and progress in your sales pipeline, all sorts of things. So it's really up to you how you want to, how much detail you want to use in that, and we can manage a subscription by the user, by the client, by the different products. We automate how subscriptions end and start. We can connect to the billing side of things. We can restrict access if they're late paying. All those sort of little details that are important in a business, we've created using the tools in Zoho CRM in our own module. Well, I love watching Sales IQ for the first half hour after I send out a campaign.
Any of us can actually go in and see and track how a campaign is actually doing.
And you actually learn quite a bit about your client behavior by seeing their reaction to an email you just sent out. So that's quite fascinating to see how those things work. We have a very specialized and niche business. There's only certain types of people who would be interested in what we offer. If we can see who they are, who's responding, and who's showing interest in certain things, that helps us tremendously focus on the right clients.
And it sets you apart from the people that you're competing against in the market.
We've actually built our own little applications around Zoho CRM. We use Sales IQ connected into our website. We use Zoho Campaigns. We use Zoho WorkDrive. We use Meetings. We use Bookings, Zoho Webinar, basically as much as we can. There are also mobile apps that are included, and more of our staff work from home. It makes it very easy to use it anywhere. So we use all sorts of pieces of information that we can collect around the Zoho system to bring together a whole picture of how our clients are using and interacting with our system. And that's all very secure in the Zoho world because it works so well together. And we find for a business our size, the ease of use and the customization at a very reasonable cost is the key to why it's been successful for us. Well, we achieve an awful lot for a small business. If you look at our profile, our website, our communications, our standing and our brand, we wouldn't be able to do all of that efficiently at all unless we had something like Zoho. The other one is you can always get good help. And I can be working on a Sunday night, come across something I need to solve within the Zoho world. and within 10 to 15 minutes, I've got an online chat. And that is so powerful, and it's something that I really have appreciated. So it's absolutely been an important platform, and we're still learning how we could do new things with it. So the journey isn't over.